Good evening, YouTube. It is 9 p.m. in the great state of Texas, and today we're going to be working with poplar wood. It's the most interesting wood that is out there. It is the most interesting wood that you could possibly ever use, and that is completely sarcastic because poplar is probably, in all honesty, let's be real, probably one of the most boring woods to work with. It's very, very plain. So just like the title of the video says, we're going to try to spice things up just a little bit with this project. We're going to get everything onto the lathe, to spin it down, make a cool little bowl, and then pretty much do the same thing that I do with pine and just burn it and just see how it looks. Because poplar is a good entry-level wood to work with. Like when I first got into woodworking, I remember going into Lowe's, picking up some poplar wood, gluing it all together, making like these blanks just similar to the one that I'm using here. And I would just turn bowls and batons and just random stuff with it. But it doesn't look like anything. The grain of the wood's not very interesting. It's not very aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I'm sure there are probably some species of poplar that are very interesting, but typically the ones that you get from either like big box stores or just like in these grab bags, they're not very interesting at all. And you got to do something to them to kind of spice them up a little bit. So that's essentially what we're going to do toward the end of the video. But the beginning of this video is going pretty smooth. I mean, it's very soft wood to work with. I've never had any issues with like it exploding or like just completely falling apart on me. But it's a good entry-level wood. Like if you just want to get back to basics or just something very easy that turns really smooth on the chisels, I mean, poplar is probably what you want to work with. But once you start advancing in your skill set, usually you just kind of want to move on a little bit. But since I paid for it, I might as well use it. So I wasn't about to just throw it away. But got everything, just to the way that we want, cylindrical shape, made a mortise. Now we're just taking the parting tool and separating the lid from the actual bowl portion of it itself. And if you hear that in the background, that's probably my cat meowing a little bit. It's a little toward midnight here in Texas right now, so she's ready to go to bed and for me to turn the lights off. So the cat is getting a little antsy. But anyway, back to the video. Gouging is really easy with poplar. This part right here, even though it's fast forward, took maybe like 2-3 minutes at the most because it's a very soft wood. Like I said, just really easy to work with, really nice against the chisels. And just didn't really have any issues. I think my biggest problem was just trying not to punch through the mortise, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to avoid here. But starting and stopping the lathe a little bit, it works out really nice, and you just got to just really take your time. So now we're actually working with the lid portion of that second piece here, and everything is going pretty much to plan. And you get a nice attachment point. Going to make a mortise, flip it over, and then we're going to get that ugly piece of pine off, and then we will be ready to give it a little razzle dazzle and see if it looks any better. But sizing up the chuck there, going pretty smooth, just taking a little bit more material off. Got it flipped over, and you know what? I'm kind of glad that there's a piece of pine on this one, because working with poplar, it's basically like working with pine. If you work with pine is probably a little bit more interesting because at least it smells good. Like if you work with pine for any amount of time, it's going to smell like, the holidays and stuff. But man, I can't say enough stuff about poplar. It's just not interesting. So making the shape looks fine, no issues whatsoever, and just it looks bleh, pretty much. So here we go. I'm going to sand it 80 to 120 to 180, or what did I say? 80, 120, 180, and then not spending a lot of time doing this because I'm just going to burn it anyway. So there's no sense in really just doing any kind of excessive sanding, I would say. And here's the little mess that it made. Looks okay, no issues whatsoever. Just got to do a lot of cleanup, but that's pretty common with all of these projects. So here I am taking my torch, and I'm going to give it a little bit of character. Boom, just burn it, because I mean, honestly, burning it looks better than just leaving it blank like that. I mean, you could stain it or paint it, but I would say just burn it. It's just even with the burn look, it's like meh, just like meh, But I think the burning of the wood looks a little bit more interesting. It definitely does. And then I got this stupid idea. Actually, I forgot where I picked this technique up from, but if you burn it, take some steel wool, and that's pretty much what I use for sanding to get all that char off of it. That technique actually works. But this next clip here of me, I'm trying to seal it, and I didn't want to use lacquer. I ended up taking some 15-minute epoxy and just rubbing that all into the wood itself. And then it tore up the paper towel, so I ended up getting these little, pieces of paper towel that I need to flake off a little bit. But once I did that, it looked okay. And the end project here doesn't look too bad, in all honesty. I think it looks okay. Just a poplar wood, trying to spice it up a little bit, and it doesn't look too shabby. But anyway, hope you guys liked it. Hope you got something out of it, spicing up poplar wood. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.